After years of searching and being patient, and sometimes not so patient, our dream of building a remote cabin in wilderness Alaska came true. December 2022, our family started a new adventure with the purchase of land on a small lake about 7 miles from our house. And this is our story. This property already had a cabin on it. Well, more like 90% of the shell of a cabin that was abandoned about 12 years ago. With spring only 4 months away and easy access to our property washing away with the upcoming thaw, we made the decision to save the restoration of this beautiful log cabin for a future project. Instead, our plans were to build a 12-foot by 16-foot smaller cabin that we could stay in while we worked on the larger cabin. This will then serve as a guest cabin for any family or friends that want to come visit. There were many hurdles that made this build much more difficult than anything I had built before. The first hurdle we faced was just getting ourselves and all of the building materials to the property.
What's going on, guys? What's the problem? Yeah, I did that a few times.
The trail to our property is only accessible in the winter when the rivers are frozen. In the summer, our only option to access the cabin is by flying or rafting and then hiking. We don't own a helicopter or a raft. Another challenge along the 7-mile trail is a windy 500-foot elevation gain over about a half a mile. This limits our loads to about 300 pounds per trip.
Hey everybody, happy winter solstice day. Pretty chilly day up here in Alaska. It is currently 11 degrees. Today we're heading into town. It's 9:30 in the morning. The sun is just cresting over the mountains. Closing on the property tomorrow for the cabin. So today I'm heading into town to go get some supplies, get stocked up so we have some materials for the foundation.
Our first trip to the cabin as a family was on Christmas Day.
First visit to the new cabin. What do you guys think?
It's amazing!
There's a little bit of a hole in the roof.
I really want to go in the loft.
Even though we won't be working on this cabin this winter, there were quite a few things we needed to do to make sure we didn't lose the value of what was already in place.
We're trying to get this metal from over there into the window and up to the loft.
Where one person may find a pile of trash, I see nothing but value. When we started to look into this property, I was quickly adding up the value of the building materials on this property. Just like we did with our house when we built it, we were able to purchase this property for just a little more than the value of the materials that was on it. This is a video clip from when we rebuilt our house, and yes, that is a house giving birth to a mobile home. But that's a story for another time. We like to take sweat equity to an extreme level. It often takes a little more time to reclaim the goods that are there, but worth it in the end. In the cabin, we were able to salvage some insulation, tools, windows, and an old generator.
Almost brand new Honda motor and a generator. Sat for 10 years.
An oil change, and some fresh gas, and it started like new.
Maybe I shouldn't sell this.
One of the other challenges to this build was the snow and the temperatures. To help combat this, we set up an ice fishing tent so we could have a warm place to grab some lunch and for the girls to warm up while we worked.
cabin, we gotta dig the snow away first.
After a few visits to the property, we were finally ready to start working on the cabin. We decided on the location and started to dig out the over 3 feet of snow we had already had on the ground. We also had to clear some trees so we had room to build. This area of Alaska is filled with black spruce trees. They are fairly small in size, so clearing them only took about a half a day. We saved the larger portions of the trees to use as firewood later, but we burned off the limbs now to avoid forest fire danger in the summer. The presence of black spruce trees in the area also is a good indicator that there's likely permafrost under the tundra. This means that the ground does not fully thaw in the summer months. It also means that we are limited on the type of foundation we can use. A commonly used foundation in this area is really not much of a foundation at all. We laid a light layer of crushed rock right on the tundra, then took 2-foot square pads I assembled in my shop and set those directly on the crushed rock. The idea with this type of foundation is that if there is permafrost, it's best left frozen. This foundation allows the tundra to continue to insulate that frozen ground and hopefully not allow it to thaw out. Either way, we will have to check the level of the cabin on a regular basis to make sure we don't crack any windows. I hope you enjoyed our adventure so far. Check back for part 2 where we get our floor and walls built. Thanks for watching.
You need big mittens, I got my big mittens.